Your bank is renting your money. Fear is how to stop paying them. Jordan thought he'd cracked it. Every dollar from his old savings account got moved into a high-yield savings account, paying 4%. And as far as he was concerned, the math was solved, while his neighbors collected 0.38% on their deposits. His money was earning more than 10 times that, which felt like winning. It wasn't. The bank was still making more off his money than he was making off the bank. And the quiet trade his high-yield account was running behind the curtain happened to be something he could have done himself. Without the middleman, without the state income tax, and without the rate ever silently dropping on a Tuesday morning, he didn't notice. But here is the thing that genuinely got me when I ran the numbers. Jordan's co-worker Maya kept $20,000 sitting in a traditional savings account at one of the big 4 banks. And over 12 months, the bank paid her about $76 in interest. In that same window, deposits like hers helped the bank earn well over $1,000 on the same balance. Maya pocketed $76. The bank kept the rest, and she thanked them by staying loyal another year. What Maya never realized was that she was losing money, while Jordan was convinced he'd already won the game. Both of them were wrong, just at different altitudes. What Maya's bank actually does with her $20,000. According to the FDIC, May 2026 national rate data, the average savings account in America pays 0.38% AP, which on $20,000 works out to $76 a year, or roughly $6 a month. That is not enough for a sandwich and a coffee in most American cities now. The question Maya never asked is what her bank is actually doing with that money while it sits there looking dormant. Most people picture a vault, but it is not in a vault. The second that deposit clears, the bank puts it to work, and not for her. Step 1, they lend it out, which is the entire business model. Your deposit comes in, they pay you a sliver. The money gets lent to someone else at a much higher rate, and the gap goes in their pocket. That gap is called net interest margin. And across us banks, it has been climbing for 2 years straight. US Bancorp, just as one real example, posted a 2.77% NIM last quarter. Put that in dollars on Maya's $20,000. The bank pays her 0.38% and earns somewhere around 3% deploying her deposit, which captures roughly $600 a year of spread. She walks away with 76. They walk away with 600 plus. Same money, and that is just the average. Credit cards are where the picture turns ugly. LendingTree, Q1 2026 data, pegs the average credit card APR at 21%, while the Fed's number on balances, actually accruing interest, sits at 21.5%. So deposits paying 0.38% are funding credit card balances at 21%, which is a 20-point spread sitting in plain daylight, partially financed by Maya's so-called safe savings. Auto loans run around 7.5%, mortgages around 6.8%, personal loans north of 12%, and every one of those products is partly underwritten by deposits like hers. The trade that should genuinely make you sit up is this next one. A chunk of the deposit base gets used to buy short-term US Treasury bills, and as of late May 2026, the 3-month T-bill yields about 3.68%, which means the bank takes Maya's $20,000, buys an asset yielding 3.68%, pays her 0.38%, and pockets the 3.3-point spread, a literal middleman trade between Maya and the US government, with Maya paying the middleman fee on an auction she could walk up to herself. Then come the fees, overdraft and NSF revenue alone. Chase and Wells Fargo each still book hundreds of millions a year, and on top of that you've got ATM fees, maintenance fees, interchange every time she swipes her debit card, and float on pending transactions. The honest summary is that Maya's bank is not holding her money. They are renting it from her at 0.38% and subletting it to every borrower in America. She clapped for the $76. Jordan's upgrade, and why it isn't the finish line. Jordan is probably you, or close to it. The person watching this thinking, I already moved to a HISA, I'm good. And to be fair, he is light years ahead of Maya. Per Bankrate, May 2026 rankings. The top high yield rates land between 3.9 and 4.1% at places like Vio, Bread, Openbank, and Everbank. And some teaser products like Varo's 5% only applied to the first $5,000. At 4% on 20,000, Jordan pulls in about $800 a year, which is 10 times what Maya gets. And that is genuinely a good move. I'm not knocking it. But there are three things Jordan never bothered to check. The first is whether 4% is even what he is earning. HISA marketing almost always says up to, which is a phrase doing serious heavy lifting through tiered structures. 90-day promos that step down, and the small detail that HISA rates are variable. A bank can drop your AP tomorrow morning, send you a one-line email about it, and that is the end of the conversation. Several big-name HISAs have already cut twice in the last 6 months, as the Fed has eased. Taxes are the second thing. Savings interest is taxed as ordinary income, which means federal plus state. And if Jordan sits in the 22% federal bracket and lives in California or New York, he is losing close to 30 cents of every interest dollar. His 800 becomes more like 584 in his actual pocket. Third, and this is the part that bothers me most, where do you think Jordan's bank gets the cash to pay him 4%? Same place Maya's bank does. They're lending at 7, 12, and 21%, buying the same T-bills, running the same playbook. A high-yield savings account is not a different game. It is a slightly better seat at the same table, and the middleman is still skimming. Which brings us to the question Jordan never asked. If the bank is buying T-bills with his money and earning 3.68%, why isn't he just buying the T-bills himself? The numbers, side by side. Lane 1, Maya at 0.38%, brings in $76 gross and roughly $55 after tax. Lane 2, Jordan's HISA at 4%, generates $800 gross, and after a combined 27% tax hit, lands at about $584. Lane 3, a Treasury bill ETF like SCOV, currently shows a 30-day SEC yield of 3.53% with a 12-month trailing yield of 3.91%, which translates to roughly $700 to $780 of gross income on 20,000. Here is what actually matters though. Interest from US Treasuries is exempt from state and local income tax, and that is federal law, not a loophole, which means Jordan pays federal and state on his 800, while the SCOV holder pays only federal. In a no-income tax state, like Texas or Florida, Jordan edges out by a hair, but in California, New York, Oregon, or DC, anywhere with a real state income tax, the math flips and Treasuries win outright after tax. The raw yield isn't even the real story. Jordan's 4% is a variable rate set by a bank's marketing department, while SCOV's yield gets set by us Treasury auctions every week, which means no promotion, no bait and switch, no footnote at the bottom of an email. This is not a one is always better argument. The point is that Jordan didn't know option 3 existed. What I'd actually do, keep your checking account. Because this isn't about how you spend, it is about where your idle money sleeps. Emergency fund, sinking funds, down payment cash, the buffer you keep around just in case. There are 3 reasonable places to put that pile. Cleanest version is a short duration Treasury ETF like SCOV, Bill, or USFR, which you can buy in any brokerage. SCOV charges 0.09%, or about $18 a year on 20,000, pays monthly distributions, and those distributions stay exempt from state tax. Settlement, when you sell, takes 1 to 2 business days. Purest version is Treasury Direct, Gov, where you buy T-bills directly at auction with no expense ratio, no ETF wrapper, and no middleman of any kind. The trade-off is you're locked in for anywhere from 4 to 52 weeks. Third option is a Treasury money market fund. Vanguard's Vuskex is the cleanest for state tax exemption, with Fidelity SPACs and Schwab's SNSX close behind. And all of them offer daily liquidity at yields competitive with HISAs. The 2 objections you're going to have. My savings account is FDIC insured. Correct. And that insurance is a federal government guarantee that if your bank fails, you get made whole. A Treasury bill happens to be a direct loan to that same federal government, which means you're not stepping down in safety when you make the switch. You're actually shortening the chain. I need instant access. For daily spending, sure, That is what checking is for. For an emergency fund, SCUV settles in 1 to 2 business days. And honestly, when's the last time you needed $20,000 in cash inside 60 seconds? In a real emergency, 2 business days is fine, and the hundreds of dollars a year you pick up in the meantime is real money. Maya did everything she was taught. Jordan did one better. And neither of them asked the only question that actually matters, which is what the bank is doing with their money and whether they could just do that thing themselves. In 2026, the answer is almost always yes. Your bank takes your deposit, lends it at 7, 12, and 21%, buys T-bills with the rest, and pays you a fraction of a percent for the privilege of using your balance as raw material. The smartest move isn't hunting for a better savings account. It is asking why you need one at all. If this changed how you think about the cash sitting in your account, subscribe, because we break down the hidden math behind the financial defaults nobody questions. The next video gets into something I think hits even harder, where your 401k match is actually going before it lands in your account, and you don't want to miss it.